All right, welcome back. We're talking about the state of India's defence preparedness in the backdrop of a report, a damning report by the Parliamentary Committee on Estimates. And joining us right now is General VP Malik, Ajay Shukla, Narendra Taneja of the BJP, Sanjay Jha of the Congress, and Kalikesh Singh Deo of the Biju Janata Dal. But I'd like to go across to Colonel Shukla first. Colonel Shukla, we have been speaking about legacy issues. The Congress says the BJP could have done a lot in the last 4 years. Can the BJP spokesperson on this panel just say that we've inherited a huge problem? Yes, there are issues, but we can't address them in 4 years. Is 4 years too little?
You know, inheritance goes back in multiple ways. The Congress government, when it ruled for 10 years, had inherited a set of problems from the BJP. The BJP before that had inherited problems from another government. In 1947, we inherited a set of problems from the British. I don't think it is possibly rational to just keep blaming inheritance for all your problems. 4.5 years is a long time to fix issues, but let's not look at the issue of just blaming and sort of trying to pass the buck over here. Let's just look at what the problem is structurally. Now, there are two issues over here. One is how much money is available, and the other issue is, with the money that is available, are we maximizing what we get from it, or what they call bang for the buck? As far as money is available, any panel with a bunch of 10-year-old school children can sit over there and conclude that we are not allocating enough for defense, because defense expectations have been scaled so high that you can never allocate enough for defense. I think the answer for that is any committee that sits down and weighs in on whether we are allocating enough for defense or not should also be required to put into its report the allocation that it recommends for social sector, for defense, for education, for healthcare, for infrastructure, and they will quickly reach the conclusion that every government reaches, that there simply is a limited amount of money that you can allocate for defense. So this business of slamming, you know, insufficient allocations and so on should always come with the rider of how much would you allocate for defense and where would you take that money out of? That's the conundrum that every government faces while making the budget. And they all reach the same conclusion. Now, coming to the other issue of whether we are getting enough bang for the buck, we certainly are not getting bang for the buck. And the answer for that is, why is successive government after government, not bringing in the private sector, not harnessing our IT ability, strength, which constitutes half the cost of every defense equipment today? Why is all of this being done in such a slipshod manner?
Okay, Kalikesh, do you feel that the strategic partnerships model that the MOD has recently approved, do you think this is the answer? Because this parliamentary panel report that we are quoting from expressed concern about the role of defense PSUs. They are saying that defense PSUs are already there. Unless and until they are helping this model will not be successful.
Well, yes, since I was part of that committee, I can't disagree with the report in any way. I do believe that the defense PSUs are not living up to their potential. There's a lot you can do within that, which for whatever reason the government has failed to do. My main concern about the entire defense spend was that too little is being allocated for the capital expenditure. A lot is being allocated in terms of, revenue expenditure for the army. But the capital expenditure, to upgrade weapons, to buy ammunition, it's just too little is being allocated, and even that is not being spent. The conundrum of the defense bureaucracy is so massive, and I think General Malik alluded a bit to that. And the discrepancy between the defense bureaucracy that we have and the armed forces is so high, the distrust is so high, that nothing seems to get done in a jiffy. And I blame the government for that. And honestly, 4.5 years ago when this government came in, I was hoping to see a lot more allocation for capital expenditure so that they can make up, given their rhetoric about nationalism and national security, that they can make up the deficiencies in the armed forces. However, I find that even the money which was business as usual for them, even that money was not spent.
Kalikesh, I'm going to get in the BJP spokesperson here, Narendra Taneja. Over here, you had Kalikesh, a member of the BJP, and also General Malik and also Ajay Shukla raised this point over and over again. We're not getting the bang for our buck. We're talking loud, we're challenging our enemies, we're making a lot of big promises, but it's just not adding up on the ground.
Well, it depends. You see, Ajay Shukla, I heard him very carefully in terms of, inheritance issues and all that. But I'm sure he would agree with me. And he knows more about defense than I do. But he would agree with me. To turn around such a huge ship, if he thinks that we can do it in just a short period, I think that's probably is expecting too much from any political party. I'm being very, very candid here. The question is that look at the kind of directions we are taking, investments we are making, for instance, buying these, missile shields from Russia, a massive expenditure, and at the same time, a big message to countries, China and Pakistan. So there are so many, an amount of money. You see, the government has put in place plans when it comes to role of artificial intelligence in defense preparedness, a role of robots in defense preparedness. These are not academic papers only. You're talking of concrete plans which are being put in place. And at the same time, role of private sector also, and the public sector working together as part of the Make in India campaign. So there are concrete steps being taken in terms of, shipbuilding facilities, submarine building facilities, infrastructure building facilities, and also, so I think we have to pay at the same time. Let's not forget, we are still a developing economy. Once we become a $12 trillion economy, we'll have a defense budget of $300 billion, whosoever is in power. But today we don't have that kind of budget because we are still $2.6 trillion economy. So we have to manage everything, and at the same time, but I want to say one thing, we are, in terms of defense preparedness, we are among the best in the world, and in terms of defense preparedness, the government has done the maximum that the government could do in, given the constraint and
all
the
right,
resources.
let's get in Sanjay Jha. All right, so Sanjay Jha, you've got the BJP saying that we've done a lot. And let's look at some of the issues that this report has raised. They have expressed a lot of worry about dependence on foreign imports. They've painted a very grim picture of the working of DRDO, saying that it needs to be overhauled. Its contribution to national security needs to be re-examined. Where does all this go?
Well, I want to make two very short points. India's biggest military adversary is probably China. And, if you look at China's defense budget is nearly four times our annual defense budget. So, these are matters of concern. And I can tell you that anybody who's done finance will tell you that if you grow your economy, you create more taxable revenues, then you're able to make appropriate allocations for defense and other sectors based on your national security threat perceptions. Clearly, the government has been myopic on that area. Now, you mentioned indigenization, which is like a focus on domestic manufacturing. And I'm pained to point this point again, that if you look at the Rafale jet deal, if you're going to take away massive opportunity, almost close to 130,000 crores of a manufacturing potential that Hindustan Aeronautics had, and you casually shift it to another private operator with very poor zero defense track record, financially virtually bankrupt, set up in a hurry, and you believe that's going to be the partner for Dassault, I think you're clearly not being serious about national security. I think I'm glad you are having this debate in a very, kind of civilized manner, because I do agree with Taneja on this point, that we cannot play politics with it. But yes, there can be no denying that I think this government has taken the eye off what should have been a matter of grave concern.
We'll have to leave it there. I know Mr. Taneja is raising his hand, but we've completely run out of time on this panel.
One second.
All of you. We'd like
Just
to thank
give me 1
Taneja.
second.
Yeah, just 5 seconds, Narendra Taneja.
No, very quickly. All I'm saying is that Sanjay Jha said not play politics, but he did play that. I'm saying when it comes to matter like defense preparedness, please don't play politics. Please don't do that.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Narendra Taneja, Sanjay Jha, Kalikesh Singh Deo, General Malik, Colonel Ajay Shukla, thank you very much for joining us on this debate. There are some very, very serious questions that this report is throwing up on the slow rate of acquisition, the poor state of our PSUs, the poor state of DRDO, and the immediate need to ramp up defense expenditure. The sad part is, this is not the first report of its kind. Over the last 5 to 6 years, there have been many parliamentary reports which have said just this. When will our governments, when will the people in the Ministry of Defense get up and take notice? That's a question that we'd like to leave you with. Thank you for watching.